I am back this week. Happy Sunday. And this week I wanted to talk about my why, like the things that are motivating me to continue on this weight loss journey. Um, I touched on it briefly in like my Why Am I Here video when I first started this channel. But I think it's really important to not just have like, I talked about my son and kind of the pain that I've been in. But I think it's really important to have other things to talk about and other kind of motivators when going through this stuff. And I have a lot. I have a lot of stuff that is motivating me to get this dealt with. So I made a list. um, so the first thing I did touch on in that first video, and it is my son. It is being there for my son, being able to play with him. I don't have a ton of stamina. Didn't. I'm getting better now already. I didn't have a ton of stamina for a long time to run around and play in the yard with him, even, which isn't a very big space. So being able to be active with him is really important and a really driving point for me in dealing with this and getting my health in better shape, but also being around for him. I don't want him to grow up without me. I think I've been watching Obese to Beast, and he made a really valid point when he was talking about how he had just kind of given up and how he just kind of figured he wouldn't live till 40. And I was in a similar place. And then it kind of clicked that I don't want that for my son. I want to see him graduate, and I want to see him live his life in whatever way he decides to live it. And I want to be there for him through all of that. And the idea that I wouldn't be there if I didn't survive to 40, because he would be like a young teenager at that point, is really scary and definitely not something I want for him. And the second one I also touched on as well is lowering my pain levels. Back pain especially is something I deal with a lot, and it's really bad. And my knee too. I used to do ballet, and I injured my knee when I was very tiny. I wasn't big when I injured my knee. I injured my knee in dance, and it has never really recovered. And adding a whole bunch of weight on top of it did not help. But more importantly, they won't do surgery on it when I'm just gonna wreck the surgery because I'm too big. So lowering my pain levels, but also creating the option to maybe deal with that finally after 20 years. And that actually also goes right into the next one, which is I want to get a breast reduction. These are way too big. They're not comfortable. And they're a source of my back pain. I have never been small in the chest area, but I was smaller before, and getting a reduction would ease a lot of that back pain. But again, it's not something they're going to do when I'm overweight. They want to see me lose the weight first and see how much they go down on their own before they will do anything about it. The next option is a lot of these are medical. A year and a half ago, I had to get a CPAP because of sleep apnea, severe sleep apnea. And that is not something I dealt with when I was slim. It was not even something I was dealing with when I was starting to get bigger. I was tested when I was before my son was born, but not long, maybe a couple years before my son was born. And it wasn't severe. I had very, very mild apnea, but it wasn't severe enough for them to even want to give me a CPAP. And then when I was tested again after he was born, a year and a half ago, they were like, yeah, no, you need this. I don't want that. I hate that. I hate plugging myself into a machine at night to make sure I don't die. It sucks. It's changed my life. Like, my quality of life is significantly better, and I'm not going to get rid of it if I still need it. But I know from friends' experiences that the odds of needing that as I lose weight, and once I start to lose weight, I'm not likely to still need it because I didn't have that apnea when I was slim. So if I get back to a slimmer size, I'm not likely to need the machine. I want more clothing options. I cannot count the number of times I have gone through a thrift store even and found something really cute and looked at it and gone, well, I could have fit in that 100 pounds ago. Um, I don't want to be confined, because at the point I'm at right now, I am confined to plus size shopping. I can't shop in, like, I'm not even in the middle range where I can shop some here and some there. I have to shop in plus size stores and sections of stores. And I don't want that. Not because there's anything wrong with shopping in plus size clothing sections, because some people, I have friends who are like 6 and a bit feet tall, and they will always shop in those sections because they're physically large people. They're not fat. They're just very large. They're tall. They're built very broadly. They need the size of the clothing. But I don't need that sizing when I'm slim. So being able to get back into standard size clothing, it sounds super vain. It's a really dumb reason, but it would mean a lot to me to have those options open. And also, I like funky goth fantasy style clothes, and those either get really expensive when you get big or are non-existent. And I would really like to be able to shop at some of these stores again. I miss my funky style options. I want to be able to hike again. I'm obviously, with my knee, I'm not gonna be able to do any like crazy incline stuff, and I haven't been able to do that for a long time, even before I gained weight. But I want to hike. I really enjoy hiking. I enjoy being outside. We're moving into the mountains next year, and I want to be able to run all over the place and explore. And I can't do that right now. I just don't have the stamina. Like, if I got out into the woods, there's a chance I might not be able to walk back. I get so tired. So I want to be able to hike again. That's a big motivator to kind of drop this weight, but also to get healthier. Like, this isn't, for me, just about losing weight. It's about, a lot of these are just about my physical health improving. The next one is the same. I want more stamina. I do live action roleplay because I'm a giant nerd, and I want to be able to do that. After my son was born, I had to give up being able to NPC, and even before that, I was struggling because I just didn't have that stamina. Running around in the woods chasing people with foam swords, it wasn't something I was physically capable of. So I had to do a lot of kind of improvising and working within my limits in order to function properly and at a game. And I'm not functioning properly. That's the whole thing. I want to be able to play the game. I want to be able to go fight the monsters. I want to be able to do the huge scenes. And I don't want to have to be like, just leave me behind when we're walking back to the tavern. It sucks. It's embarrassing. And I want to play the games that I'm paying to play. And I can't right now. So that's something that I want to improve on. I don't want to wear a seatbelt extender in an airplane. I went on an airplane for the first time since I got over 300 pounds back in 2019. Was it 2019? Yeah, I think it was 2019, because I think I ended up with extenders on that flight. But 2019 and 2020, I went to New Orleans in January. Just like dove into New Orleans and back just before all this craziness started. But I had to use seatbelt extenders. And that was, in 2019, the first time it happened, I was humiliated. I could not fathom the idea that I was too big for a standard seatbelt, especially because I don't need them in cars. I can sit in pretty much any vehicle. Occasionally the back seats, for some reason, have shorter seatbelts in some of the older cars, and then I have a little bit of an issue, and then I just call shotgun, because I know those friends have cars I can't fit in the back seats of. But I don't want to wear a seatbelt extender. I don't want to have to, ask. That for me was really embarrassing, and I don't want to need it. I don't want to have to, I just want to lessen the accommodations in the world that I need. And yeah, I need them right now, but reasonably, at the rate I'm going, and the fact that I've maintained consistency for over a month, which, by the way, I am now at the 1 month point in my weight loss journey, and I'm still doing good, so I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping to give you guys a really good update for my September weigh-in. But the whole point, anyways, back to seatbelt extenders, I don't want that accommodation. I don't want to need a seatbelt extender. I am due to go to Texas next September, so 2021. Crossing my fingers that we can get everything calmer by 2021. So September 2021, I'm supposed to go to Texas, and I'm flying, obviously. I live in Canada. I'm not gonna walk or drive out to Texas. It's too much of a hike. Um, I don't want a seatbelt extender on that flight. I want to have gotten to a point where I don't need that. And so that's a big goal for next September is don't need a seatbelt extender. That's my like non-scale victory for September next year. I want to be comfortable on rides. Like I can't go to like, our local theme park or anything. Or I wouldn't be able to go to Disney or anything like that. And I'd love to take my son one day. But I can't do that right now. Or I can technically, but I'm not going to be comfortable. Like the rides, I know, even before I gained weight, I was already having some chest issues with the rides. And I don't want that. Like I want to be comfortable to go on theme park rides because I enjoy theme park rides. I like roller coasters. I like crazy stuff that throws me all over the place. Like that's fun for me. And I can't right now. Like I can, but there are definitely ones where I exceed the size limit. And that is I don't want to exceed the size limit of things anymore. That's really the long and short of it. I had to get a special camping chair, and that comes down to the next one. I am afraid of chairs. I have a phobia of breaking a chair, which I personally, thankfully, knock on wood, have never done. But I have a phobia of it because I've seen people do it, and I've felt that kind of creak when you sit in a chair and you're big. It's scary. I had to get a special camping chair that would accommodate over 250 pounds, or 235 I think it was, because those normal little like cloth camping chairs that fold out, their maximum weight limit is like 235 pounds, somewhere in there, and I was over that. I don't want that. So yeah, so that's my last one, and it sounds really dumb. That's a really stupid one to end it on. I'm afraid of chairs. I don't want to be afraid of chairs anymore. But yeah, like I modeled in college. I was very small, and it just that's gonna be one of the mental health side of this. That's actually I'll throw in another one. My other reason. I want to try and beat the body dysmorphia that has plagued me my whole life. Because when I was 130 pounds, which on me actually looks like almost anorexic, I look way too bony and thin because I'm so tall. So when I was 130 pounds and I was wearing little teeny tiny corsets, I thought I was huge. I looked in a mirror, I looked at photos of myself at the time, and I hated it. I thought I was enormous. And part of that is I've always had a round face. Like, I think that's where a lot of it comes from, is I've always had a round face. I look back at pictures of me, even up to like 170 pounds. And I look at those pictures and I'm like, I was beautiful. I was so slim and like healthy. I walked for miles a day. I was doing great. And I hated myself. I looked in the mirror and I essentially saw my body the way it is now. That's how big in my brain I thought I was. So that's on the mental health side of things, something that I wanted to work on. And I'm in therapy. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't in therapy because I can't do this if I'm not working on my mental health. So finishing therapy, I'm going into a specific program in the fall, but doing the therapy and all that and trying to get past on the mental health side of things, the body dysmorphia that is part of the reason I got this big because I gave up when I wasn't big, when I was very slender. I thought I was huge and I just gave up. I was like, what's the point? You're always going to be the fat girl. Nobody saw me as the fat girl. Nobody saw me as the fat girl. Except me. And, yeah. If you already see yourself as fat, you don't really care if you get bigger, I guess. Wow. that took a very somber turn. But yeah, so those are my reasons. Just getting past a lot of the stuff that is kind of keeping me back right now. And and being there for my son and having a more fulfilling life. Just I want to have fun again. So yeah, so those are my reasons. That's part of finding myself. And I'm gonna be looking for those reasons as I go through this journey. I'm not expecting them to magically show up at the end of the journey. Being able to play with Liam, I would like to do that now or sooner rather than later. Working on my pain levels, talking to my doctor about a breast reduction, all these kinds of stuff. Starting hiking, getting better stamina for LARP. These are things that I can start doing now to build up so that I'm not waiting until I'm skinny again. I want to do those now, and I want to be that person now. And I put, again, this is really nerdy, but I have this banner I made for my computer because I use my laptop a lot. I made this background, and I put pictures of me when I was very slender and pictures of me now. I put in a picture I liked because I didn't want to look at my before pictures are not cute. I found a cute picture from my birthday of this year. And I put these things, and I put a few little pictures to represent things I want to do, and I put a picture of my son. And I just put time to roll a new character. Because that's the whole thing here. I'm finding myself, but I'm also trying to recreate myself to become the person that I want to be and to roll a new character, to start fresh. So this marks 1 month of doing that, and hopefully we have many more ahead of us. Next week, I've already started plotting out August for you. So next week, I want to talk about kind of tricks or tools that I'm using in my weight loss journey. Some of these are things I'm doing to trick my binging brain, and some of them are tools that I'm using to help with living with depression and having executive dysfunction, but still trying to maintain a healthy weight loss journey. So I have a few tools that I'm using in the kitchen and on my phone and stuff. So that'll be next week. And then the following week, I'm going to talk about things I have started to notice about myself since I started losing weight and drinking water and doing all the things that are making me feel good. And yeah, so see you next week. This was a much longer video than my first few videos. I hope that's okay. Appreciate everyone who watched, and I will see you next week.